Hi guys, it's Martina and Brands. It's Tuesday. This is Brandi.
Martina.
We are sitting here vibing out today. How you feeling, Martina?
Good. A little tired.
She had a long day. It was MLK Day yesterday, and this girl works hard all weekend. She's at events, promos, and stuff. KJLH business. Can I say KJLH without paying them? It's not profit, right? Or no?
Well, I mean, Stevie Wonder's our owner, so I guess that makes it private.
She gets to hang out with Stevie Wonder. Like, who can say they do that every day? And a homeless man, not every day. And a homeless man once told me that he was a prophet still untouched, walking the land. Go figure. And Martina gets to work for his company, so she's tired. MLK was yesterday. Mm-hmm. Praises to the revolution.
I got my baby with me today, so it's like, all right, kids, stay in the room and watch Wreck-It Ralph.
And it's so funny that she has Tama with her today, because what is our topic? What are we talking about today?
We're talking about parenting and the struggle.
The struggle being real. Like, how crazy is that we're discussing parenting as a collection of things. You'll hear where our minds were at with it, but the fact that we still are on a grind of work. Tama's in the other room. That means we have to stop for snacks, water interludes, bathroom breaks.
Mm-hmm. Lots of bathroom breaks, probably.
Martina probably more so than
I got
anybody
a
else.
bladder.
Horrible bladder. Horrible. But that's a whole nother topic. She may need one of those Poise or Depends commercials to sponsor her in the near future. Bladder is horrible. But yeah, Tom is here. And we're going to jump into this craziness, where it came from. Martina, tell me about this guru guy you were talking to me about.
Oh, yes, Sadhguru. I meant to watch the YouTube video before I came. You know, I got to do my research before I dive into things. But Sadhguru, he is a guru, right? And the podcast...
No shit, Sherlock.
Dun, 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 he's a guru. So, watching his YouTube channel, actually, I got hip to him while working at an event for KJLH.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So full circle.
It's hard being woke.
It's so hard. But YouTube, parenting, and he gives. I wouldn't say he gives advice. I wouldn't say that at all. He gives knowledge, insight. What you do with the information when you receive it is on you. So this gentleman, he asked, how do I be a better parent? Something of that nature. How do I be a better parent? And then Sadhguru said, the biggest disservice you can do as a parent is parent. And I'll be sure to attach the YouTube video to this somehow, some way, so that you guys can get it and watch this video. It's about 10 minutes, a little less than 10 minutes. You can even listen to it in your car on YouTube. But so I shared that with my friend about what Sadhguru had said.
Okay, you said the biggest disservice you can be to a child is
as a parent.
Is to parent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're gonna have to go back and watch that video.
Yeah, we probably are gonna have to watch the video just to get his further insight and knowledge on it, but not even to get caught up, because we can get caught up in that, but we'll later maybe have like a question and answer type, I don't know, memo, who knows,
you can always
comment on it after we research his actual video and see where he was going. But when Martina mentioned it to me, we were in the car, and this was actually before I even let myself into the thought of parenting is a disease, like the struggle of where my mind took it. She had told me probably on a Monday, because we typically record on a Monday. Yes, on a Monday, sure was. And I had a parent-teacher meeting on Tuesday with Marley's school, and it sent me over the edge so much that I'm a silent thinker. When something comes over me heavy, it almost puts me in a state of paralysis, like deep sleep. Like in my mind, you know, and I don't even want to claim it. I don't want to call it stress. I really call it heavy thought, like a blunder. What is the word blunder? Blunder, yes. Like a blunder of just everything. It blankets me. And when it does, I typically will need to go to sleep. And
she shuts down.
I shut down. So you won't be able to reach me. I'll sleep for hours. And this happened. I had a parent-teacher conference meeting, me and Ian, with our oldest child, Marley. And Marley has always been my little delicate flower, learning issues on a school level. So we had our regular yearly follow-up meeting. And in the meeting, I heard so much of everything that wasn't, I guess, fulfilling of what I went into that meeting thinking I wanted to hear. And after sitting there and getting her teacher's reports and her counselors and therapists that she works with at school, I walked out and I was overwhelmed. It was the first time I had ever cried to my mother on the phone, like really ever had a long enough conversation with anybody when they asked, like, how's Marley doing in school or what's going on? I broke down on the phone with my mom. Like, I boo-hooed, and I'm just like, it's so hard having a child with special needs and learning disabilities, and you know that they have so much in their brain. And I'm crying because these meetings, they're draining on your life. And they're draining on you as a parent because you have to take into account what you said. And it is the worst thing you can do for a child is to parent them. And when I went into this deep sleep, when I tell you that my brain never stopped thinking, that when I woke up, I felt awakened to the fact that last week we talked about, and Martina posted it, what was our last week? Our last week was worried about the wrong shit. And when I came and I just was like heavy, I woke and I said, you know what? This is so funny. Last week we recorded being worried about the wrong shit. And I said, here I am worried about the wrong shit when it comes to the development of my child. And I am letting an institute that created a structure in the first place dictate the development of my child, dictate how she feels, dictate that thought of you're special. So you're going to begin to believe that you're special. Your learning is different when everybody's learning is different. There are some in group settings who, yes, can focus more, who, yes, can pull out great test scores because the curriculum that you're teaching is something, A, they want to pick up, B, they're interested, and they know how to rationalize their thoughts. Everybody's not like that, you know, and I was sitting in this meeting feeling like I was defending who my child was and then challenging this structure, like, all these tests, they kept pulling out papers.
Standardized testing.
Oh, this test and this test they're going to test for in May and where Marley is placing. And then they would turn around and say, you know, but maybe because we can't diagnose, she's ADD, but then she's not ADD hyper, she's ADD very calm.
Like
but then she doesn't stay focused in class and she'll just check out when she wants to, and you know she's lazy in certain areas, and then her speech therapist is, you know, like, I beg to differ. I don't think it's laziness. I think it's a struggle. And I was thinking to myself, like, yo, it probably is. But then knowing my child, what if this isn't for her? What if school and the way you teach and the way it is like a mini prison system from the time the bell rings to what subject we're going to talk about for 45 minutes and now put your book up, it's time to go outside, file these papers. She's not that girl. But then does that mean that she really has a problem? So then it led me into thinking, our teachers are on strike. I don't know what's going on with LAUSD right now. I would be curious to know. Have you heard anything about it while you were out in the streets yesterday?
No, actually, no. Nobody brought it up.
Nothing. Okay, so LAUSD was on strike. I think we had mentioned that a few weeks back on one of our recordings that LAUSD went on strike, and the teachers, have been out in the street demanding smaller class sizes. I can't even tell you what else. Shame on me for not knowing. Shame because I'm not in LAUSD, but it's not an excuse. I probably still should have researched. But teachers are on strike. And when I came to out of this slumber, I was like, yo, when I mentioned homeschooling in the office, everybody from the principal to her teacher is like, she's way too young. You want them to be able to socialize. This builds up their socializing and motor skills. School. And I'm like, screw that. That's some made up shit. This is an institute that receives money for every single child that comes. Yes, there are teachers who are passionate about what they're doing, but if you're not able to reach all 33 of your students, because that's how many are in Marley's class, and there's a child who learns differently from your core structure, you're going to place them in special education. Make them feel a certain way about themselves, drag them out of class for however many minutes with teachers who seem slower than their operation of their brain. Some of my kids, helpers, therapists, whatever their classification are off. Okay? Off.
The blind leading the blind.
The blind leading the blind. To where I have to laugh sometimes like, and my baby is special? This lady never knows where her papers are. She never knows what level she's testing them on. She can't remember their chapters they're doing. Like, you see her, she's everywhere. Like, oh, she's this way, she's that way. But then my child may have ADD.
Hypo ADHD.
And she doesn't focus, but she's so calm. Nonsense. So I was like, yo, why are the teachers even so compelled to wanting to be a part of these establishments that really aren't for the kids? Like, we're singling them out. We are parenting them, and we are parenting them based on a structure and a standard that doesn't exist. Something that really took me there, the principal said in the meeting, the average student is a C student. Hell, I was a C student and I have 2 masters. And then her teacher followed with the same thing. Like, I have a master's too, and I was a C student. I would be happy with a C student. And they had this dialogue between them going back and forth off his original comment that was, the average student is a C student. Mm-hmm. And me always overthinking everything and breaking down what people say. I came out of my mouth and said, what is an average student?
Yeah, why did they bring that up? To make, like, what was the purpose in them saying
I guess that if she struggles, don't be so hard on yourself. If you have a child that is a C student, you're average. Mm-hmm. And I said that. What is an average student? And everybody in the room looked at me like, I said, so you mean to tell me that I'm altering my child, however her mind thinks or she operates or she grasps things? I'm going to tell her, don't do it that way because the school doesn't think you focus enough on this subject. Do this and do this because I want you to be average? Mm-hmm. I said, we don't even know what her average is because we're not even allowing her to learn in her ability of learning. Mm-hmm. So I'm already structuring you to be this C notated average student. Nonsense. Like, I truly wish that I could pull my kids out immediately and homeschool and pull some of these teachers. And I told Martina, I wish that there were more like nonprofits or, what are they called? Co-ops. Mm-hmm. That pull teachers that are really passionate to teach subjects, because there are kids that are falling, and it's always children of an ethnic background, or, you know, they put things in our food. Everybody has ADD. Everybody's autism spectrum. Everybody's special ed.
They're like classifying
everybody. And I just felt horrible that when I left the meeting and listening to these people, that I said, yo, 2 things I need to point out here. A, I'm worried about the wrong shit. And B, I just self-identified with what my friend was telling me about the biggest disservice you can do to a child is parenting. And I am parenting you on a structure that was designed and created probably for you to ultimately fail. And this is what I want you to uphold to. Not really getting under my baby and being like, fuck this schoolwork. And real talk, like, she can learn math in other ways. She can do her English and her spelling words and learn more spelling words than what they're pushing and teaching, because I don't pay for private school. So I don't get that extra specialty care as a private school student would get. I have friends whose children are in private school. They get 200 spelling words in a week. Marley gets like 12. Okay? Giving you something deeper and stimulating your mind in ways that you enjoy learning. When do we become so accustomed to everything we do as parents
has to be to somebody else's standard? Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. One of the things was, I don't mean to throw off your flow. You good?
I'm good.
Okay. So one of the things, when I went out last week, I believe it was on a Wednesday, to go speak to some of the teachers at Westchester High School, it was really enlightening, and I kind of got emotional because I'm like, damn, these teachers are really out here fighting for what they believe is right. And I feel that's for me, that's like super passionate when anybody's like willing to kind of put themselves out there to be the oddball out, you know, and really come together. That's deep for me. So saw these teachers, and you know, they're fighting for pay. Isn't the biggest thing. Pay, all of them said to me, at least at Westchester High School, like, pay is not, that's not it. We're actually losing money being out here today. They would go out there and picket, and they would lose about 20% of their salary to be out there petitioning pretty much every day until the strike is over. So they're like, it's not about pay. The biggest things that I took away from it was the classroom size. Now, like Brandi mentioned earlier, there are multiple issues that the LAUSD school district is fighting, but the biggest one that stood out in my mind was classroom size. And they're talking about increasing the average classroom size to 44 kids. And
like,
I was
can you imagine?
Yeah, and then so one of the teachers there, I think he said he taught history. I can't remember. I remember his name was Andrew. He said the biggest part of being a teacher is building a relationship with these kids, getting to know them on a personal level. How can I teach you, educate you, if you don't trust me? If you don't believe in me? If I don't know you as a person, what you like, what you don't like, who your favorite ball player is, who your favorite anything is. If I don't know you on a personal level, how can I teach you? So he's saying, I have 44 kids in my high school class, and a classroom, a period is 45 minutes long. He said that only gives me 1 minute of one-on-one time with each one of my students. And I can't even imagine what type of a task that is, dealing with a high schooler to get their attention. So here my friend is telling me about Marley and what she's got going on. So it's like they have all these advisors, counselors, therapists to tell my friend about how Marley is doing, when literally you probably only spend combined 30 minutes with my kid. But you have all these things to say about my kid. Now, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm knocking, being a counselor or a teacher, or you don't know.
No, because I'm still saying that we need those.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
We just need them to come into their real life, come into their setting, come into where they're comfortable at. Mm-hmm. if you're in a classroom and you're overwhelmed and this shit is like Chinese letters to you and English is your first language, if I'm really only getting a minute of my teacher's time to briefly explain a lesson before you go in and you free work, and I'm already lost, where does that place me? Then now I have to get pulled out of the classroom, and then they want to take you back a few lessons and then talk to you about being behind.
It's asinine.
Oh.
Yeah, and then they want to tell you, oh, well, this is wrong with your child, or this is how we want to diagnose your child. And it's just like, yeah, you don't spend enough time with my kid to even be able to make those type of decisions. It's like it's the structure's fault. This is how it was set up. So these teachers, these, leaders in education, they themselves are following the structure that was laid out for them. It's kind of like a ripple effect.
It is. But then that's why the struggles of parenting is so real. It's like parenting is a disease. And that's where we become diseased. Talk about small class sizes, teachers that are passionate about doing what they want to do. And here we are, parents, still sending our children to these institutes. I'm sorry, I'm an advocate right now, going against schooling, and my kids are in school, okay? Supporting the teachers, but yo, get out of this. Get out of this going to school for no money at all, to be stressed out with 1 minute of one-on-one building rapport time with a student. You're losing them. We're losing our village. We're losing our community. We're losing them to these IEP programs and dubbing them as being special needs or special education and not having them ever work to their full potential. We're keeping them average, because the average student is a C student. So we only want you to work to the average. If the test score says you need a 51, get a 52 and you're cool.
Yeah. So what was your moral dilemma inside?
It's a lot. We'll probably need this whole show to get through it. My moral dilemma was a whole lot. I got a few epiphanies about how I was parenting, how I am creating the disease because I'm creating a habit of saying, you have to do this and you have to learn the way they tell you to learn. And, it has put a strain on me and Marley's relationship because I'm always right behind the scene, making sure she says the word right, or she's reading clearly, or she's not acting like a child too much because she has to focus so much because she's messing up in school and it's so important. And I'm like, is it really that important? Because I'm so focused on parenting you to be better in school, I'm missing quality time with you. I'm missing bonding. Real time that you're really learning things that you care about and bonding. And like, okay, you can speak the language and you don't have strong number sequence. Maybe you can learn number sequence in a whole different fashion if I pull you out of this institute that I'm programmed into thinking you have to uphold this standard and structure. I mean, my moral dilemma was, I'm worried about the wrong shit. What am I doing as a parent? How am I supporting my child who is struggling and struggling hard in this class? But then I see how you learn and I see the things that you are passionate about. And it's not just going outside and playing with your friends and going to a party. There's a lot of things that are intricate that you care about. And I push you away from those because I'm like, no, the school says you're not where you are. You're in a special needs program. I know that you're better than this. You need to focus. And it was like,
it's like putting all that pressure, the pressure that the school gives you. Now you have this pressure. Now you're putting it on your 9-year-old daughter. Yeah. And that's heavy for, kids don't know how to deal with those types of emotions. Hell, adults don't even know how to deal with those type of emotions.
No.
And then we sit in here and turn around and call them, oh, they have this and they have that. It's like the cycle, the vicious cycle of it all, the disease.
It's very vicious, and it is, we parent so much to a structure, to a standard, to rules that don't exist. These are not our own personal standards of our life. It's not our rules. And why do we go through everything like, oh, you can't do that because if you do that, you're going to hurt yourself? When sometimes if you do that and you hurt yourself, not to the fullest extent that I need to go and sit in the ER or that you're going to lose a limb, you learn. Mm-hmm. Everything we do with our children, it's a disease. You know, like I looked up, the definition for disease, and of course you always get 2 parts. And the second part was a particular quality, habit, or disposition regarded as adversely affecting a person or a group of people. And when you think about that, parenting is a disease. If you are just out here, I'm parenting, you're diseasing your children. Mm-hmm. You're adversely affecting like their thinking, the way they move. We stop them from being who they are because of these standards. Don't act a damn fool in public, because if you act a damn fool, it reflects on me. Mm-hmm. How could that be when all I did, I birthed you? I was a vessel. I housed you. You ate from me. You grew from me, right? So here I am, a tree. I birthed food. Now my food is going to drop and roll down the hill. I don't know who it's going to touch. Who that fruit, whatever I grew, how you might fall into the ground in spring, you may grow a few other trees. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But it's not to dictate and tell you how to move, how to flow through life, how to learn. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think like in my own personal situation as an adult, and how much my mom tries to influence me. Like, remember when I told you last week, I was like, my mom said to go get a job at the YMCA. And I lightweight thought about it. I was like, I guess I could get a job at the Y and just, but I'm like, nope, there we go. Somebody's trying to throw me off my purpose, throw me off my path. And it's parents don't parent with ill intent. We only want the best for our kids, and it becomes overbearing, and it becomes parenting instead of just letting kids figure it out on their own. Figure it out figure your own.
Like, parenting is so real. You always go back to when you become a mom, you try to escape away to places like the bathroom.
I have a friend who goes to the car. She hides in her car.
Okay, so you find places to escape away and indulge in whatever your cravings or your secret time. You don't want to share whatever.
You smoking that cig real quick.
Yeah, whatever it is. You try to find a way to break away and indulge because you feel like you never get personal time, right? And why I was in this slumber of deep thought, I laughed because I was like, yo, my kids don't have private time. And it takes us back to, we do make jokes and be like, you don't pay no bills here. You don't get no private time. That's something that was taught. Open this door. That's something that was taught to us from our parents. You can't close them doors in here. You don't pay no bills. You don't got time to get no attitude.
Cut off that water. Run my damn water.
Anything. And I laughed and I was like, yo, I complain about not having free time to myself, time to think, and I don't give my kids free time to themselves, time for them to think. Somebody might be like, that's some white shit. She done lost me. Fuck that. Okay?
My kids
don't need no free time. Exactly. But then no, because we're all people. We're all individuals, different thoughts. I even see when I'm talking to Marley too long, she'll zone out all the way and will interrupt you and ask you something that's about to piss you off because you are in the middle of a talk with a lecture, discipline, something, and she gonna be like, how about those Lakers last night? Did you something so random, right? And then I'll be like, you're thinking about the
wrong shit. No,
the wrong shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like the beauty probably in just that thought that she had. And if I, for a moment, did not have a structure, I did not have, you got to wash dishes at this time. I'm talking to you, so you should be listening. If I found a way to engage with her, like, oh, what did you like most about completely letting go of whatever I was in the moment of, because this is what happened in the moment. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. I'm now like, see, this is what the principal is talking about. This is what the teacher, the school, you don't focus. I'm in here telling you about something and you talking about a Laker game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's how her brain works. That's who she is. I don't give them personal time. I'm in the bathroom when they in the bathroom. You don't wipe your butt good. Use more tissue. Wipe your hands.
I'm in the bathroom when they in the bathroom.
When they in the bathroom, but I'm really like being open-minded about how much I'm hovering over my children. And that's probably why they develop that sense to hover over you, because you're doing it to them.
Yeah.
I'm hovering over you. I'm in your room. When you on your tablet, I'm right behind you. What you doing? Because I do have to be aware of the things that are going on, because they have more resources to get themselves in trouble. And as a parent, you want to make everything right. You want to fix it. But I guess I have been being a parent. And what I want to get away from is not parenting.
You put on your board, I'm already a parent.
That was on my vision board this year. We did a vision board launch party. Martina Brands will have other things coming up, so you can check us out when we're out in the streets. But we did a vision board, aha moments of 2018, and how, that was going to transition into your 2019. And I put on there, I am already a parent. Stop being mom. And a lot of that is probably why I had this crazy meeting that sent me under a rock for like 3.5 hours. I slept. I didn't answer my phone. I told you I boohoo cried. And when I came to with the fuck all of this, worried about the wrong shit, kind of abusing my child to damaging our relationship because I'm so gung-ho set on your schoolwork must be up to par. I want scholars, and I could have scholars just in the most artistic form. Mm-hmm. The ones that don't go by the norm, because what is the norm? What is average? You can't be anybody else's average, but you're average. And then when you start at your average, then that's how you work up to your grade. There is no system. This shit doesn't come with a set of rules. I promise you. For me, what I'm saying is I'm about to go against this. Oh, standardized core testing. Guess what? When she tests in May, she doesn't do it. We're going to homeschool. And we're going to try something out to see how it works for her. We've done this. We've done this up until almost the 5th grade. And I'm not going to let my baby fall from her level of confidence, doubt herself, when her greatness may shine in a whole different form from sitting here, doing lessons for 33 minutes out of a day, eat at this time, don't have the freedom to go take a nap. Like, seriously, we let these babies run, try to embed all this stuff into them to get them to the standardized testing to pass so we can measure whatever money funding from the government, city, state, however. Teachers that have to teach to a curriculum, that are out here passionate to want to grow and develop your children, and they're on the sidelines picketing for smaller classes, when you simply can take the power into your own hands and really start looking at this market of parents who feel like me, where I'm saying this school isn't for my baby.
There's a whole niche right there. Create your own unique curriculum
that you could go in for 45 minutes at a day. Even if you were a teacher that said, you know what, I wanted to go a little longer, but statistics and study prove that most children don't focus past 7 minutes. So you have to find, thinking about that, creative ways to inspire and get up under them. Talk to them about the things that influence them. Talk to them about the things that they are passionate about. If you're coming and you're really having that one-on-one time, can you imagine where we would take a generation of children? to, and all these teachers, history, math, physics, science, language teachers. Mm-hmm. We listen to the Spanish station in the car. My children sing songs in Spanish. Real talk. It says the words clearly. They may not understand what the words mean quite yet, but they hear them every single day. Every day I turn on the Spanish station. You mean to tell me that a child that can learn Spanish simply by listening to songs daily can't grasp math concepts? Music may be math.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned something to Marley, and then Ian was like, Marley doesn't understand that. And you said, how do you know she doesn't understand that? Like, we as adults, as parents,
there we
think
go.
that our child is not capable of understanding something or grasping that concept. It's like we underestimate our own kids.
Absolutely, because we're placing them at this average standard. There's no way in the world you can know that. You're a kid. Mm-hmm. And I used to tell Ian, how can you possibly expect her to know if you don't give her the task? If you don't place it upon her? Now then one would challenge and be like, well, at school they're placing the task on her and she's missing it. But do you know how much they're overloading them with? Of things that really, like, it's so crazy. We are still teaching kids. Martin Luther King had a dream. His famous speech, two things he did. He organized the Montgomery boycott, mm-hmm. and then he did the walk in Washington. I have a dream. Are you crazy? He was on the FBI's most wanted list from the minute he started, like, really revolutionizing his thoughts, right? Why we don't teach the kids that? Why are we teaching them I had a dream. Mm-hmm. No, this man had much more than a dream.
Mm-hmm. We even limit that.
We limit it. We limit everything. We teach them the Pilgrims still sat down with the Indians. And I know I am on history, but nonsense. But we're so afraid. Here we go again. It probably starts at parenting. We suffocate. We're screwing up our kids. We start with the idea of suffocating what the truth really is. You know what my baby's truth is? She probably really wants to tell me, Mom, fuck this shit. I don't like waking up in the fucking morning. Excuse my language. I don't like waking up. I don't like having to jump and go quick, eat breakfast quick, because I have to be at school at 8 o'clock when the bell rings. If my baby told me before last Tuesday, before the meeting,
no, you tell
would
her.
I had accepted the fact if she would have told me, yo, Mom, I don't want to go back to school. No. Mm-hmm. And that would have been her truth. But then she probably lies to me every day, pretends that she likes it, find a way to make friends with kids she's probably not even interested in. They get on her nerves. That she starts to see this process of competition and what are you doing and what after school activities are you in? And competition starts early in school. It's probably a lot of things that boggle my baby's mind, because again, she's like a flower. Like anybody who knows Marley or have met Marley, she is special. She is a gift all of her own, and she probably is so brilliant in so many things. But yeah, she probably lies to me every day because she does not want to disappoint her mom, who's been being a parent. She doesn't want to disappoint me. Mm-hmm. And I've put that notion on her of disappointment. Mm-hmm. So she's felt it. She's felt, oh, Mom's upset. Mom's frustrated. And this is making her frustrated because
all she wants to do is please you.
Yeah. And please me for something that's a standard that somebody else created. I am no longer letting my seeds who come to earth be them. And we made a joke like, shit, well, if the government is shut down, why are we not having a worldwide party?
Shut the fuck down.
Shut the fuck down. You call your job like, yo, I'm not coming in. The government is shut down. Mm-hmm. I'm not protected. My money might not be back. Hell, I don't even know where y'all get your money from. So I might not get a check.
Yeah, let me pull out all my money out the banks.
I'm not coming in. I'm not about to run the bus system. I said, and we pull out barbecue. barbecue grills and party and
swipe that card with the extra benefits on it.
People don't think that it's real. People don't think it's possible. It sounds so far from the truth, but there we go again. It's a lie. We're lying to ourselves that we need to go into our jobs every day. If everybody striked, what would happen? You gonna arrest us all? Are there even enough jails to house us? I mean, that could be why we've always been under construction in LA. They built prisons underground to throw us in. Probably.
Call it the Metro.
But you know, real talk, we don't take the power into our own hands. And it starts at being a parent and parenting. Starting with that disease, the struggles of being a parent we are that first step to fucking our children up. Didn't you say that last week on our episodes?
I don't know. I'm always scared
that
it starts. Up, though.
It starts with the kids. You said that, and I was like, if it starts with the kids, then it means that it comes from us, because most things with children are learned behaviors. So unlearn and relearn that parenting is a disease. It is a disease that is grouping our children. Like, in order to be the best caretaker, the best what did I say? I don't want to be a teacher of all things all the time. I kind of want to just give direction. And you were like, oh, well, isn't giving direction? And I was like, no, because you don't necessarily have to take the route that I'm giving you. There's many ways to skin a cat, right? So it's like you're setting them up with directions to, this is a game plan. This may be the ingredients you need to follow to make your muffins rise, but you have other ingredients you can play with and add in there. Like, why not?
Yeah. Brandi and I got to watch the YouTube videos on Sadhguru and parenting, and I will make sure that I attach a snippet or something to our Instagram profile and our YouTube so that you guys can check it out and get hit with some deep info when it comes to parenting. And yeah, it was very informative, very enlightening.
Allow her to know that it's okay to be who you are, to walk how you walk, to think how you think. It's okay.
I know all I can think of is the family dynamics in my relationship. Like, my mom is very involved with me and what's best for my life and what's best for my kids' life. And, you know, she's obviously just following a structure that was given down to her. But we always get in the morning, it's a struggle. She's always getting involved with getting ready for our morning routine. And I like to try to get my son, my oldest, who's in second grade, to try to figure out things for himself. Because no, mommy doesn't have all the answers. Mommy doesn't always know. Mommy wants you to figure the shit out on your own. So being that it's winter, it's cool outside, and, you know, being that we live in California, we get tricked a lot. It's beautiful outside. The sky is blue. The sun is out. The clouds are white. We're like, oh, it's 90 degrees outside. But really, it's not. So I'll tell my son when he tries to leave the house without a jacket on, I'm like, do you think you need a jacket? And he goes, no. And then here comes my mom just this morning. I watched the news. I know it's cold outside. Get on a jacket. And it's like, I wish you would just let him figure the shit out on his own, so that maybe he needs to walk outside, freeze his ass off, so that he knows that the next day, like, oh yeah, maybe I need a jacket next time. Just something as simple as that, as letting him figure out on his own what is best for him. Hell, I don't know, maybe he runs on hot and the cold won't affect him at all. I doubt that, because my baby's as skinny as a rod, but let them figure it out on their own. As moms, especially, you know, being that, you know, both of us have sons, both of us have 2 sons. We want to protect our children. Mama bears want to coddle our children. Saad said it himself. We want our children to be codependent on us. We want them to depend on us. But when it comes to, like, let's say our significant other or a spouse or whomever it is we cohabitate with, we want them to leave us the hell alone. And hell, we want our kids to leave us alone, but yet we set them up to be codependent.
Yeah.
And, it's like,
and that's what he said. He was like, yeah, we don't.
How does that make sense?
But it doesn't. I just said earlier we get mad that we never have personal time in the bathroom, but do we give our children personal time? Mm-hmm. No, we want them to be dependent. Oh, do this, pick this up, brush your teeth like this. Like, no, why not just let them go and just do?
Yeah. Yep.
And them learn, as they go. Yeah, it was deep, and having the meeting really took me back to what you said on Monday when you first started talking about this video. Parenting was the worst thing that you can do. Mm-hmm. And then I thought it's a disease. It's a real disease because we create this desire of wanting them to be better than us. It's the most cruel thing that we can do. When you realize that you don't have all the answers, it's liberating. When you learn with your children, completely liberating.
He said, if you don't know the answer, tell your kids you don't know.
You don't know the answer.
I don't know.
And then if they ask another question, follow it. I'm only a few years older than you.
Mm-hmm. What? He said a lot of deep things. He was like,
why are we making all the decisions? Why do we make all the decisions? And then I get so frustrated in my household when everybody's like, what's for dinner? And I'm like, well, what do you guys want to eat? And they're looking like, because I make all those decisions. Mm-hmm. In my life and cohabitating with Ian, I get so frustrated. Like, yo, you don't ever figure out anything on your own. Even the other day, he was like, maybe I just rely on you too much. That's it. We make everybody so codependent upon us. And then when that burden gets so heavy of so many people coming to you seeking the answers that you really never had in the first place, I only have what I'm learning from my life or what might be right for me, but you're giving so much. I think that's when you break down. That's when you realize, like, yo, I'm creating people to be around me that I don't even like. Mm-hmm. I don't even desire to be around because I'm trying to control everybody's life and dictate how you should operate and how you should think and how you should play and how you should treat others. No, that's something you're going to learn on your own. Mm-hmm. On your own. And yeah, having this meeting lets me know that everybody is about a standard. Everybody
is about giving information. Everybody has a load of qualified information about what you should be doing with your life, how you should live your life. And life is not to be controlled. Life is not to... I like the analogy, and I'm sure it's been used a lot. Like, life is literally like a fruit-bearing tree, right? I think you said that earlier, and Saad said it too. If we want a plant to flourish, we give it water, we give it sunlight, and if it doesn't grow within this certain time frame, we don't all of a sudden chop that tree down like, this tree, it's no good. It hasn't grown in this amount of time. But yet we do that with our kids. Oh, you didn't hit this standard at this time, so we got to hold you back. Oh, you didn't hit this mark at this time, so you must be slow. Oh, you didn't hit this at this mark. It's like the system does not allow, the school system that we've created does not allow for individualism. It doesn't allow us to...
But life doesn't allow us to be individuals. It's always a standard. It's always, like I say, the one up. We have a lot of topics in the bag that we're going to discuss. But it was that...
Yeah, somebody always got to feel like they're one up on you. In a sense, competition.
Mm-hmm. Everything is. Like, we really have this idea that there's only one great. What? We're all great. Mm-hmm. And once we realize that we're all intertwined as one, then we all have the ability to shine at the same light and bright. Doesn't matter because I'm shining with you, you're taking light from me. No. So life doesn't give us the ability to know it's okay to be unapologetically you. Mm-hmm. And to know there is no right answer to this. But everybody thinks that they have the answer. It goes back to, you saying you weren't giving advice for 2019 at all. It's my train of thinking of why ask why.
Yeah, you're never going to get the answer.
You're never going to get the answer that you want. You'll get an answer, but if it doesn't suffice your idea of what you were looking for, you're going to throw the idea out. It comes back to you said earlier, creating a lie is better than the truth. And I'm like, no, the truth is really better. It's just that we want the lie because life doesn't allow us to live our truth. Mm-hmm. So we have to create lies because we're so far off from just living our soul truth. And that's going to carry us into a lot of topics when we get on cheating and what these ideas of these title or blocking is that we put out there. Everything is a condition, a title,
a label.
Everything
has to go into this category, mm-hmm. and in this category are subcategories. It's weird.
So in parenting, being something you don't want to be a parent. You want to be a nurturer. You want to be an individual who lives your life and allows your children to live theirs. To know I am only your guard. I'm like your guardian angel. Think about our guardian angels. You think about that like, oh, you got the devil over here. You got your angel over here. Your angels don't go and push you from jumping off the cliff and doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. You may hear that voice in your head that's like, yo, whatever you're about to do is not cool. And then you go and do it anyway, but you learn from the process of doing it. So when you really think about guardian angels as a parent, that's what you are. You're a real life in flesh guardian only. To guard you from, like I say, that unwanted trouble. To tell you, it's not a good idea to go play in the streets by yourself late at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My struggle as a parent, I always say this to like all my friends. I'm like, gosh, I don't want to fuck up my kids. I don't want to fuck up my kids. Like, I feel like that is the biggest fear that I have as a parent. And it almost seems like, not that it almost seems like, because we're so individual, I mean, we are individual. That sounds crazy. We are individuals. So how I might deal with something and act like it's no big deal, and I might brush off something. So let's say my son comes to me and is super stressed out about something. I'm like, yo, that's stupid. Like, why are you even stressed about that? But for him, it's a big deal. So it's like, okay, how do I make sure that I'm responding in a way that makes him feel empowered or not take things so seriously? Tie-out is so serious. Everything is a big deal. And he takes those big deals and turns them into what I feel is like a stress. And I'm like, yo, you're a kid. Why are you worried about that stuff? It's like, just be a kid. Don't worry about what kids say about you. So I'm always worried that something I'm saying in the long run or something that I'm doing in the long run is going to screw my kids up. But maybe they need to be a little screwed up to hit their level of enlightenment. Like, we all learn from the mistakes of our parents. And I think what I'm learning as a parent is not to parent. I don't even know if I want my kids to be able to come to me and talk to me, and I want to be able to listen and not give advice. And that was what he was saying. Like, are you sure you're more intelligent than your children? And if you go into it thinking you are, then you're already limiting their ability to have that courage. You're limiting their self-confidence for them to know
it's okay that you don't have all the answers, because if you're trying to reflect, you have all the answers, and then you're making them feel as though these are the right answers, they're not going to come to you. They're going to go to your friends. And that's what he said. That's why kids are so accustomed to talking to their friends first, or telling somebody else their secrets, or something that, you know, might hurt your feelings when you find out, oh, you didn't come to me first. And it's because you're not creating that environment for them to want to come to you. And the only way they're going to do it is if you allow them to be also wrong. And it's okay. You're allowing them to learn from their own life's path. Yeah, stop giving advice. Stop telling them what they're to be doing, because we don't even know what the hell we're doing half the time.
We're all out here just figuring it out. There's no prescription for life. There's no written way to live. Actually, maybe I should argue that, because I really feel like, in going back and forth, that there is a path that's laid out for us, but it's all this noise and all this outside influence that come in and steer us off of what our true path is. And that could definitely start in the home by trying to be a parent. No, you shouldn't do this. No, you shouldn't hang out with those people. No, you shouldn't try that. And it literally is the forbidden fruit. Well, hell, if you told me I'm not going to do it, well, I am going to do it, because not that necessarily you told me not to. It's just I want to find out for myself.
But yeah, no, it was deep. Even the pause in my mind, I still can't deliver everything without this being over an hour show, which is not good for the listeners. But it just, let me know, like, yo, I don't know more. I don't know that much more than my children. I'm learning every day the same as them. And I feel the most not myself when a person doesn't let me be me. Like when a person tries to bottle me or tell me how to live and operate, I shut down the most. Like, I'll zone out on you. And I look at my child and wonder why I get this reaction where she's closed off. Because again, I haven't taught her that it's okay to be wrong. Like, I always hear, well, Mom, you're a perfectionist. And I'm teaching my daughter to be a perfectionist. But if I truly were a perfectionist, would my life not be where it needs to be? So I'm still learning and still in striving for whatever my level of perfection is. I still run into walls. I still, bump in hurdles, major hurdles that I have to go back to the drawing board and rework and relearn and refocus. And I'm not supposed to think that my baby needs that same assistant, that she's just supposed to go and get it and understand it and go by this structure. No. So stop thinking I have all the answers. Stop thinking these schools have all the answers.
Yeah.
We are the creator. That's why you don't get in the way of creation itself.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That just definitely relit my brain. I don't want to get in the way of what our creator has put in place for my child. That sounds like a sin.
Yeah.
For real. I don't want to get in the way of his
divinity.
divinity.
And that's probably why it's generational curses. Because we are creating probably ultimate sin. You blocked life.
You suffocated it.
You dimmed its light. Whew.
That's crazy.
Takes me. I wish I could plug a song right now, because I would play Tracy Chapman.
I got a fast car.
You know it, and I'll turn right back around. Because what does she say in that song?
I don't know.
I don't want nobody to suffocate me.
No.
If you are suffocating me, if you are about to come and pretty much blanket me and don't allow me to breathe life, I can't be around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Don't suffocate the kids.
Don't dim their light.
Don't dim their lights. Nurture. Do not parent.
Don't parent. Don't get in the way.
Don't even call yourself a parent. That's crazy. Like, you know, when you really think about it, you know, I know people would be like, and I know Sadhguru probably wasn't saying don't call yourself a parent. But don't be a parent. A parent is taking care of someone in the manner of a parent. But what is the manner of a parent? I don't want to be the manner of a parent. You know what we need to do? We probably all need to get together, burn the Webster's Dictionary down to the ground. Just burn it down. Burn it down. And come up with a whole new meaning of words and concepts and what they mean. Because the words that we use, I'm a parent. No. That's a poison to your tree.
Yeah, that is like what are those things called?
Cyanide. You are the stuff they don't want to spray.
What is it that they use to kill weeds and shit? Pesticides? No, that's for pests.
I said weed cyanide. Killer. Weed killer. What is it called? The one that was giving people cancer. Home Depot. You guys all know what we're talking about. Everybody's used it.
Yeah, don't spray that shit on your kids.
And that's what being a parent is. You're spraying weed killer on a tree.
A flourishing tree.
That's a bar. Yeah.
All right.
Think about it. The struggles are real. The struggles are real enough for us to identify what those struggles are. And when we identify with them, making ourselves better. Because it starts with us. We are broken. Because our children don't come in. They don't come in broken. They don't even come in with the idea of pain or grief or resentment. They don't. We teach them those things. You know, I was thinking about how one of Ian's cousins said that they don't use the word hurt around the house because they don't want her to create this idea that things hurt. You know, so when you go to the dentist, you won't get in the dentist chair and immediately be like, oh, I'm scared, it hurts. Because you've created that notion that, okay, you're going to go to the dentist and it's going to be uncomfortable. So what if things are uncomfortable? In being uncomfortable, there is always beauty that comes. The most beauty. There was something that I read on the back of one of my magazines, because I'm always talking about wisdom. Something I'll get into and you'll see it more is Wise Woman Wednesdays on Thursdays. But one of my magazines said something about wisdom. And when I read it, let me find it.
She's going to find her magazine.
It said, wisdom begins in wonder. And when I saw it on the back of one of my magazines, it tickled me because I was like, yo, when you really think about it and your brain wanders, same as I was saying with Marley, I could be talking to her about a lesson and she'll pop up like, hey, yo, the Laker game, or so-and-so said this. Her brain was wondering. But that was wisdom that she was gaining in wandering. In her wandering, in her mind, wisdom was to come. And if only I engaged in that conversation instead of abruptly getting upset that she wasn't focused on what I was talking about, I let her lose that wandering and that wisdom that she could have gained. So, you know, that's a bar to take away. Wisdom begins in wonder. And sometimes you should let your mind wander, the children wander, life wander, just stumble upon things, because in that wander you are going to gain wisdom that may be soil to your tree, that may be extra light to your tree. So let the kids wander, let you wander, let you become unbroken, unlearn and relearn.
I think we need to start learning from our kids.
Listen to the kids.
Listen. Yeah. Observe them. They're so carefree. They're so happy. They don't have a care in the world. When did we get away from that? I was talking about that with one of the PTA moms today. Like, when did we just get away from being carefree? When did we allow the stresses of the world to just become so heavy on us? Just need to be more like kids, be more free-spirited. Like we said, they're probably more closer to the truth than we are. But yeah, we got all the answers for how they need to live their own lives. Yeah. All right. Well, we definitely, as always, want to hear you guys comment on parenting, what your takeaways were. I'm definitely going to post this YouTube video.
Scratch what Tina said.
No?
Comments. I don't give a fuck about your comments. No.
Oh, no. I want to read your comments.
I don't give a shit about your comments. What I want is just your story. Did you understand? Did it relate? Did it strike a chord with you? Did it not? Are you already one of those excellent people that already had this unlocked and realized that parenting was a disease beforehand? Mm-hmm. If so, drop that. Give us a holler. We can elaborate more on any topic if you feel like you need extra time or something else stimulated from this conversation. But come at us with your divine true stories. Talk to us like real life people that are a part of these real life struggles, and let us in your world, because that's all we're here to do, is open up with you, let you into how we process and analyze things and the things that we're touched by. And I truly, seeing the teachers on strike, doing my daughter's annual IEP, raising 3 children, guarding 3 children. Nurturing. Mm-hmm. I am their guard and nurturer. I've learned a lot. So join us for after hour chats anytime we pop up. Questions always on the Facebook or Instagram page. Martina, where can they find us?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It's all Martina Brands. And our website.
And then pretty soon you get to see us live as our camera crew is getting together, and we're going to start recording in our setup. So you'll see the Martina Brands stage, and it'll be more like you're in the house with us. So we do appreciate you for listening, and we appreciate your time. And
yeah, if you know somebody who needs to hear this,
go get you a brand muffin.
Get a brand muffin and a martini. And share this with anyone that you feel needs to hear it. We all need to hear information and share information, right? Being involved. Oh, here I go. We said, stop sharing information. And I'm like, share this information. The vicious cycle of it all. All right. See you guys out in these streets later.
Bye.